What's up, everybody? It is the Goal60 here for the college football bowl season for 2018. This is the second part of two of the videos that Tom and I are making. Also, once again, Tom has joined me as a special guest this week. Michael will have his picks in the description below. And if you did watch part one, you know that we're doing this a little different. We're doing this on a unit-based thing and kind of giving our price or what we're putting up for these games to kind of see who can do the best through bowl season. Also, if you haven't watched part one, I invite you to do so now. So with that said, Tom, if you will, go ahead and get us started again for part two.
All right, Clayton. I'm going to stay with one of these kind of lesser-known bowls, or maybe this might be one of those bowls that are, not as watched as much, but I think there's some value here. It's the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And that's going to be between BYU and, let me catch it here, BYU and Western Michigan. I think because of injuries is really why I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I think there's going to be BYU has 4 running backs that are hurt.
Wow.
And I like Western Michigan a little bit, but what I liked about this game was the under more than anything. I looked at both defenses, what they did, the yards per play, their third down conversion rate, and I felt it didn't warrant the 49.5 total that they were given. And then you add the injuries in, I really like it then. So this would be $100 play for me, but under 49.5 on that famous Idaho Potato Bowl game. I really what stood out to me was the amount of running backs that were injured for BYU. And to have 4 running backs out off your roster, I just think they're going to be limited, one-dimensional, or, when they do run, it's not going to be, it's not going to be definitely their best options.
Right.
So I think defense can kind of load up on their passing game and then easily shut down their running game. That's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yep. Well, my first play of this part 2 video is actually going to be a $200 play, and this one is in the Peach Bowl. Now, this one is Florida and Michigan. This matchup has happened over the last few years a couple times, once in an opening game and once in a bowl game. If you look at the two teams that are coming into this game, very different. One of them really played well in their rivalry game. The other really did not play well at all and kind of had their season wasted in that one game, to be honest. They had a shot at the playoffs, and that is Michigan. Florida came in not with a shot at the playoffs, but played really well in the rivalry game. If you look at the stats, the rushing to me is really similar. The passing, you're going to have a little bit of lean, in my opinion, towards Michigan, believe it or not. But at the same time, you look at some of the trends. Michigan has 1-5 their last 6 non-conference games. They're 1-4-1 their last 6 in the bowl games as a favorite. Look on the other side of the field at Florida. They're 6-2 their last 8 bowl games, and they're 7-3 their last 10 games overall this season. All those trends point to this. You look at a conference trend, actually. The SEC in bowl games are 65-49 as an underdog. So anytime they come into this game as an underdog, those coaches have been preaching that this entire last 3 weeks, getting ready for this game. I just like Florida here. It's over a touchdown at 7.5 right now. Just like those key numbers I was talking about, I think that getting that hook really sets this play up as a good number. And I like Florida plus the points for 200.
All right, so my next play is the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. I know this is another one that flies under the radar, but some things pointed out to me, kind of just stood out where Houston versus Army here. I looked at Army's schedule, and I know they just played recently, so they haven't really had a lot of time off, but they played against, Navy, and it was a very low-scoring game there. I looked at Houston and their injuries. They're missing some players. Some players have decided to sit out on their own. I looked at Army. I think maybe one game went over the total of 60 all year for Army, and they played Oklahoma.
Yeah,
they played some other. They didn't have a soft schedule. And this total at 60 just feels like it's way too high. So this is a large play. This would be a $250 play in that the way we're based up this contest. That's to me that's a solid play and maybe one of my the strongest of my strong plays.
Yeah.
So under 60 in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Their quarterback doesn't reach double digits in attempts. They don't throw 10 times a game. They throw.
Right.
I looked through and it was 8 times. It was 7. One time it was 9 times. Very low. They run the ball to 8 clock. The defensive lineman for Houston declared for the NFL.
Ed Oliver.
Yep, they have a backup quarterback going. They're 1-3 in the last 4 games they've been in. They have another defensive, besides the defensive tackle out, they have 2 wide receivers that are questionable. I just really think that hinders their offense power enough that slows them down a little bit. All right, I'm going to go to my next game. It's another thriller here. It's the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Find it on your chart there. I've got Boston College +3 in this game. I've got they're playing Boise. I've got Boston College didn't have a great year. Boise had a little better year. The thing is, this one's really tied in to that running back Dillon. He's listed as questionable right now, but I think we have time for him to get even healthier. And I think he's probably the best running back or one of the top 3 in the country. And I think he's a game changer. And I'm looking at what Boise gives up on a per carry basis. If he's playing, and this is all contingent on him playing, if he's playing, Boston College getting the points is definitely the play. I think he's going to eat their lunch and run it up. If they hold him out for some reason, then I would come off this play, definitely. But he's the key to me looking at this, looking at their defenses and what they give up to rushing and things of that nature. It's a mismatch. They're not set up for a running back team that's anywhere near his caliber. And that's it for that one. That would be $100 play for me.
I do agree with that. And like you said, if he plays, it's a big, it's a either or. If he plays in that game, you're right. I don't think Boise State can stop him. That guy is the old school, downhill runner. If he gets behind his pads, you're not going to stop him. You're definitely not going to keep him in the backfield. He's one of those players that always falls forward, and that means a lot when you're running the kind of offense that Boston College does. So if he plays, that's huge.
He's not Barkley, but he's close to him.
Right, in his own way. And people may watch this and think, "Oh, they're not even close." You've got to look at what their offense requires them to do, and you're exactly right. His offense is set up for him to run downhill, and he is exactly that. He comes in, he fills in, he sets up that team for success.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of their games. Every game people know what they've got. They know if they can stop him, they can beat Boston College, and they're loading 8 people in the box coming in there, and he still has big, huge gains. They would have had a lot more wins if they had any kind of a passing attack.
Absolutely.
But I think that running game is enough to beat Boise.
I do too. My last play is actually going to be a teaser. This one's for $200 as I finish up, and it's going to have the first leg is on January the 1st. It is the Outback Bowl. It's Mississippi State and Iowa. I just don't think that Iowa can stand, playing Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State really got something going there at the end. I think they really came alive, started focusing on their running game a lot more, and really Nick Fitzgerald finally started throwing the ball around, which opened up the running game more. And for that reason, I'm going to tease Mississippi State down from being -7 all the way to -1. It's pretty much a pick 'em, and I'm going to go with it there. The second half of that teaser is on December the 28th in the Music City Bowl. That's Purdue and Auburn. In this game, I didn't look at stats. I didn't look at trends. I literally went off of what I felt the team that needed this win more than anything else. It's not necessarily a program builder, because both teams are trying to build a program and get back on top. But at the same time, I felt like Purdue, they kept their coach. Brom turned down his alma mater at Louisville to stay there. And I think they need this win. I think they want this win. And for that reason, I'm taking Purdue +4 up to +10 as my final play in that teaser.
Yeah, +10. I looked at that game and I just thought Purdue had some really strong wins this year. And then they had some that I thought, how did they lose to that team kind of thing? And then I looked at their yards per what they give up on an average. It's 5.7 yards per play. And I thought, man, that's exactly what Auburn needs. They have to get going on first down. If they can get 4 or 5 yards on first down, then Gus can run his little tricky offense thing. His run pass option works well. So I thought it was a weird mismatch. I do think Auburn is reeling still from the UCF loss last year and how embarrassing they are and how many times they have to hear that over and over. Maybe LSU will will correct things this year by letting the SEC beat them. So I wasn't sure about that, but you teasing it up to 10 definitely puts you in a better place. And what was the other part of that teaser? Was the
Mississippi State -7 down to -1.
Yes, Fitzgerald is going to go out he's going to go out a winner, and they've got 2 first-round pick defensive tackles that Iowa has no answer for.
Right.
I think Mississippi State could easily win by 20. I mean, I really think they can't stop Nick's running, and they can't stop those defensive tackles. It's going to be I really think that's a strong play. I'm just going to wait and make sure neither one of those guys declared for the NFL or something.
Right.
I think, if one of them stays, it's going to be a great play.
I agree.
All right, my last pick is going to be the Camping World Bowl, another no-name kind of play. I've got Syracuse plus, it's not a lot, +1.5. But I think they went out right. I have them pretty easy. A lot of this is based on them. Their defenses were similar in what yardage per play they gave up, but Syracuse on third down gave up a very low 28% to their opponents. And then you add on the fact that Will Greer's not going to be playing, that they've also got their high draft pick offensive tackle not playing for West Virginia. I just wonder what the psyche will be for West Virginia players with their leader leaving and then another player deciding to sit out. And I think it sets up well for Syracuse, and I really think that line's going to move some more as money comes in on Syracuse.
I agree. I think it will too. Will Greer is the key to that offense, and I agree. I think that this Syracuse is definitely keeping everybody there. They're trying to build for this bowl game. I think they're in a better situation.
Yeah, they were 9-3 this year, and they had 8. They covered the spread 8 times.
Wow.
Syracuse did. So I really feel like they're ahead of the number, and Vegas has trouble putting numbers on them.
I agree. Well, that's going to wrap it up for part 2 of this 2-part series. I really appreciate Tom joining me this week and filling in for Michael. Hopefully after bowl season or maybe the last week, we can all 3 get on a video together and see how we did during this little experiment. And with that said, I really appreciate everybody that watched this video. Good luck in everything you do. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and yours.
See you.
60% of the time, it works every time.